FPX took a nail-biting game number 1 win against Rogue Warriors, but the Warriors fought back pretty hard, and as we get ready for game number 2, we've got to think about if they can do it again, Raz, because that was an impressive performance from them.
Yeah, I think that the fact that we all already saw like a 30-minute plus game back and forth between Rogue Warriors and FPX says a lot for how quickly Rogue Warriors have come together. But you can't take down what seems to be the FPX juggernaut. We'll have to see in game 2 if they get much back, because it was tough in team fights. I already love what LWX has given us, but GimGoon came hard, man. That last fight really went well for him.
Yeah, and let's roll back to those fights. Let's just talk about them a little bit, Raz, because those were fantastic from both squads.
This one was great just because when FPX first came in, they thought they can get the kill from HuaTian, but look, even better from ZWuji, because HuaTian stayed alive for long enough to be able to get that huge burst on top of LWX. So this was RW having the early game lead, solidifying it even more. I thought this was going to be a game in favor of Rogue Warriors.
But it turned out FPX were able to spin this fight around. They took off Haro in the first place, and then they chased down onto Holder. Once you pick him off, ZWuji's poked out too far.
I don't know if you saw it at the end, but at the beginning of it, but it was really just that flash play from GimGoon that made it all happen. That it was a Baron rush coming in from FPX, and then it started with, at first, GimGoon was like, I'll just stay in the bush, see what happens. But when they went in and tried to engage on Rogue Warriors into the blue side jungle, he wrapped around, found that heroic play. That was a great call from GimGoon.
And unfortunately, Raz.
Okay, go for it.
He did not end up the one with the MVP because it was the carry who was there for the whole game, bringing in the damage. It's going to be LWX as the MVP for game number 1 on that Sivir. And he hit pretty hard, Raz, 41% damage share there.
Yeah, he did well, so I'm never going to say that he didn't play well. But I think we give an unfair advantage that people that get all the resources. Of course, the guy that gets 100% of the resources is going to do real well, or at least achieve 41% damage percentage. So it's not that I'm throwing that away. I think he played well. I'm just talking about in the moment, heroic effort. GimGoon was able to accomplish that. But, I mean, he took it for the team in the early game. He took it for the team in that last team fight. And apparently he took it for the team by not being able to get that MVP.
But as we're going into game number 2 then, because we're looking at a Rogue Warriors who have found their footing a little bit, didn't have a great time trying to snowball initially, but then were able to find a beautiful team fight in the mid, got them an ace, got them ahead, and then FPX had trouble fighting back. Where we're looking at both teams, I mean, we'll start with Rogue Warriors. What the hell do you do to do better than that last game? Because it was already convincing.
Usually I don't say, it starts with draft. This time, I have to give that caveat. A lot of people end up just always focusing on the draft. I think this time I would like for it to start there, because I think they played well considering the draft hindered them in terms of just team fight pressure. And being able to find pick on backside, how are you going to be able to penetrate the front line first of all? Then the Yuumi lost chapter. Once Sivir's gotten all her necessary items, I think they went deep into the early game pool and then weren't able to put GimGoon down. And GimGoon has been fantastic at being able to eat pressure. This time around, I don't think they played well enough to be able to dive him on tower. I think actually Haro wasn't able to find the perfect timings on top side to be able to take advantage of that. But even if that's the case, I think GimGoon usually in that pressure, in that situation, always takes a step back, moves to second tower, is ultimately very respectful. So if you're going up against FPX, match them in team fighting, don't hinder yourself.
Well, let's look at FPX a little bit then.
Okay,
because we're saying GimGoon is having a great job playing the weak side top lane. That's fantastic. The bottom lane did end up getting a little bit ahead, but ZWuji came out ahead in fights. My question for FPX is then, how do you stop that misstep in the mid lane? Is it simply just being more cognizant of positioning at that point, or is there a lot more that they need to work on?
I mean, I think that just comes down to a case-by-case issue. I'm never a fan of just like teams or fans or anybody that looks at that play and says, no more proactive play from you. Or do more of them. Like, it literally felt like that was a situation where they recognized the risk, said that we can get this kill, and we're wrong based off the math on that one. And maybe, like, LWX is going to come back and say, well, I used my Q on the wave, so of course I didn't have it for this kill. That would have done enough damage there. So there is no lesson to learn from that one if you're trying to drag and drop it to other games, other than, I don't know, like, make the better judgment, I suppose. So like that's the situation that's always hard. I think that the idea that backed it was strong though.
I think FPX are just looking strong in general, Raz, but I think this brings up a larger conversation about relative strength in the league, because we were actually talking before the broadcast. I was like, I don't know if I'm convinced by Rogue Warriors. I'm starting to be now. But at the time, their first series did not look anywhere near as strong as this, but they seem to be bringing things back, and FPX are already undefeated. So are we starting to see that playoff contender that you were looking at, or have they not still made a full convincing case?
Yeah, remember their first two opponents is literally RNG and FPX. So what you're going to be seeing, if we're just talking about results, like the result-based analysis that we talk about so consistently, you're going to have 2 losses. Like very safely, unless if they overachieve here, then we're expecting this team to start out very slow. But that's fine. You get those lessons in the back and you continue to move forward. I love the fact that, to answer your question, I'm seeing great moments from Rogue Warriors. That's showing to me not only are they dramatically better than the last split, but they are good enough to be a playoff team. So all of that discussion, behind me, I want to see more out of Haro here. I think Haro can show me so much more, much like he was able to accomplish last year when he was the starting jungler for EDG. So I want to see what he can do to come back to those heights.
A little bit of growing pains, I feel like, for this team. Especially you have Haro, you have Holder, both coming into a team which came up and had an entire split to sync together. HuaTian, of course, as well.
Yeah, but they just lack general experience. So I don't think it's too much synergy. I think they're just talented players that don't have the experience. Even when I make the joke about old guy Huanggai, he's a rookie. He's just older than everybody else in the previous iteration. Actually, I need to see the current age of Haro. I still think he's younger than 26 years old, so I'm just going to continue to call him old guy Huanggai. But yeah, the oldest player or the most experienced player on this team is, funny enough, Killua. So that says a lot, seeing as he was a rookie in the last year's iteration of Rogue Warriors when he was on that team, or at least on the team with like SMLZ and Doinb. And as an aside, everybody, yes, this is Doinb versus his old team. And Doinb versus his old teammate of, well, not even anymore because Killua is on the bench. But he went in the back, took a look at Killua, says, I don't even need to look at you anymore. Goes into the back. So, but yeah, it's going to be real fun to be able to see how competitive Rogue Warriors can be in this series.
So far, they've shown absolutely beautiful proactive plays, especially from ZWuji, which we expect from him at this point, which is nice to say about a rookie. It's rare that you see someone come in as a rookie and really just shake up the LPL a little bit, and you're like, okay, 80 carries, we had to look at really strong ones. Let's look at the one that's a brand new rookie from this bottom tier team. We saw a similar thing when Knight first came into the league for Suning.
Yeah.
It was like incredibly mechanically talented rookie. This guy's going to go far.
Yeah, and true confidence in their own abilities. A lot of the times when you see hot talents and commodities across the world, a lot of times it takes some time for them to be confident within their own team environment, within their own Premier League, so they don't make any highlight plays until either next split or later on in that split. And you saw immediate growth and immediate movement from ZWuji. He came into the league saying, like, I'm the best. So he really, truly feels that way. And I love that kind of guts from the person. He's going to be coming into this one just as strong. I wonder what he's going to be doing going into game 2.
Going to have to find out as we get into the draft. And ZWuji, of course, we have a lot of options with him. He's been very promising, but the bans have already come out for FPX and Rogue Warriors. They were really not happy about that Lux support, but Rogue Warriors, as a result, will be able to pick up the Nico first rotation.
All right. You already see the Akali hover. As you can see, a lot of Doinb fans out there. He is a consistent streamer, everybody. So he has his own catchphrases and everything. Think about like a sneaky in the mid lane. That's what you have, except, you know, not nearly as many cosplays.
He might get there. You never know. I have faith in Doinb. But they are going to go for the similar composition to last game, picking up the Nautilus and the Sejuani in their first rotation. But Rogue Warriors are going to answer with a Jace.
Yeah, it's real fast, by the way. Immediately going towards the Jace and Nico, showing their solo laners immediately. So I would expect this to be a jungle pick, actually, from Rogue Warriors. I don't think they pick up 80 carry at all. Okay. Interesting. That just makes it so FPX can just start nailing down the bad jungle matchups they don't want to deal when the Jace is on the field. So perhaps that's going to be another Elise ban, so we don't get to see Haro on the pick again. And I'm thinking about another bad matchup. Sejuani does pretty well a lot of the times. I know a lot of, like, last split, we saw a surgence of Kane into the ZWuji matchup, so people just started banning it away when they wanted to pick Sedge immediately. I think Trundle is actually a good ban. You have great poke with the Jace. You also have just the Tangled Barb works really well with the Trundle pillar, and Trundle has been a specific pick into ZWuji and Nautilus too, so I think it would make the most sense for Rogue Warriors to pick it up, or FPX to ban it away.
FPX have already banned away the Elise, as we were talking about, but they have their second rotation ban now.
All right, Elise and Trundle, please.
Make it the Trundle, ladies and gentlemen, but we'll have to see what they decide. There may be other things that they want to put more priority on, and it seems like they want to take away the Morgana.
I mean, makes sense. Bottom lane would be stronger with the Morgana option. Also is a great counter in towards the Nautilus. So I think that's a strong one. I'm not going to disagree with that. Just going to have to recognize that there's a possibility here for Rogue Warriors to now snatch it away.
Of course, Huanggai's introductory game into the LPL was also on that Morgana, so we know he plays it very proficiently.
It has a great win rate, as you can see. Only 6 games, of course, being played. 4 out of 6. Of course, is going to have a pretty good win rate on that one. But still, it's incredibly successful, especially up against the composition that it consistently deals with, which is, you know, Aurelia trying to get those stun across. Same with ZWuji and Nautilus.
Now, LWX going to be able to lock down the Kai'Sa for himself this time. ZWuji not going to be able to take that one away. And now, the question for me is where this Nautilus is going. Are we going to see it mid again or support?
I would expect it to be a support. I think Nautilus and Kai'Sa has some great synergies that you can utilize, especially if ZWuji ends up going to the bottom side of the map with the Nautilus present. It's just great pick, as you would expect to be on the Galio. Ooh, I like this. Add a little bit more poke. It's not as much setup as you'd expect if there's a Trundle involved, but just throw in a Q, baby. Haro on his Nidalee pick.
There we go. We've seen Xiaopeng on it before. We've seen Haro. He's going to be the first one to pull it out this split as well. And FPX had to figure out what they want to do for their remaining pick now that the Nidalee is on the field.
It's smart if you're starting to hover over the Pyke, knowing if you see Rogue Warriors' issues, that they only have one tank, and that's the Galio. So Pyke there, but what they're going up against is a very squishy composition.
Now, the Nautilus is going to be down in the bottom lane, but we're going to see our second Pyke top of the night, Raz. And maybe this one will end up taking Aftershock. But Haro, of course, on the Nidalee.
Started with Flandre, ending with GimGoon. These are the most exceptional top laners in the LPL. Both of them getting hands on towards the Pyke and learning from Wonder himself. I love it. Big fan, and I want to see how they're able to utilize it in this game.
There's a lot of fun in this draft. We got the Pyke top, we got the Nidalee jungle. I'm looking forward to seeing what they can pull out with it. I want to also see where the Neeko goes. It looks like it will be staying in the top lane with Holder. Now, going into the Pyke matchup, how does Pyke fare, actually?
I mean, we've already seen it. That was the matchup that it got introduced in. Remember, if I'm correct, that's the Jace top lane, right?
It was looking like the Jace mid as the 20 seconds ticked down.
Okay, it's probably Neeko top then. There it is Neeko. So Neeko does come out with consistent pressure. I'm also expecting it to be the press the attack Neeko, but it's the same issue that we had with Jace in the matchup or Kennen in the matchup. They're all range, harass, but what the point is of the Pyke is that he can pick up waves underneath his tower. He's incredibly healthy, like the effective HP that he has. Whenever you poke him out of lane, he dips out of vision, comes right back. He doesn't lose much health at all. So he can always pick up underneath his tower. And we saw what last game was like. He picked up boots mobility, Flandre did. He was able to rotate consistently. So that's something you have to be able to worry about. If you are Rogue Warriors, you need to find a way to be able to gank this pick, dive this pick, find him behind, and keep him there.
Well, you've got a Neeko for the CC. You've got a Nidalee for some even more damage going into the top lane. So GimGoon going to have to bring out all the stops to keep himself safe against Rogue Warriors' onslaught and see if FPX can pick up the 2-0. So we begin to get into game number 2, FPX versus Rogue Warriors.
It would appear as the screen is frozen, my friend. Now the camera has trolled you because this is usually what happens when you
zoom in,
close
we
up
get a little
into it.
Mercedes.
I'm expecting that there is an error. Something has messed up. The fans are all confused as well, and that's a pretty damn good poster, my friend.
Yeah, they're still coming out with their
camera
support,
shot's got it again. You would expect that we're going in. We even got the car, baby.
Well, it's time to roll into game number 2, Raz. Let's see it. FPX versus Rogue Warriors. Who's going to come out on top?
Wow. Did we really start this game 1 minute and 20 seconds in?
We did, Raz.
So the players weren't the ones having the problems. We were.
Sounds like my life, but that's okay. Haro's not going to be having too many problems. Although, GimGoon trolling him a little bit, pulling him away from the red buff.
He did have to smite it. It's going to be harder for him if he goes towards like a Raptors, so he's going to shy away from that. But what we did miss in the level 1s is essentially, Haro went for a red buff invade. So ZWuji is going to have an incredibly difficult time knowing that she doesn't have mid lane to rely on, so she can't go in on her invade on her own. So Nidalee's going to come out of this one with a great triple buff. Okay, what's
Doinb
up?
Nearly getting taken down on a tower. He's going to have to pop that corrupting potion pretty soon.
This is 2 games in a row where Doinb's finding a lot of struggle in the early portions of the game. He's been putting himself in a bad matchup, and that's the result.
See the electrocute going on to GimGoon this time. He's getting poked out a little bit there. Doesn't have the sustain, doesn't have the safety.
Now, remember what I said going into game 1 of Flandre?
I do.
And you made a point that, electrocute. And I said if he was in a good matchup, I would approve of electrocute. It's not a good matchup. But he's pretty confident he's going to be able to get out of this lane. Right now, look, there's a reason why he's 11 CS down. The wave still, that's close. Still hasn't crashed to his turret. I would love to see the wave crashing in, please. Thank you. And to see if he can even that up.
Should be able to. Has the wave in a pretty good position at this point to pick that one up.
And remember, POV stream. Last game it was Doinb. This game it's going to be Haro. So remember to check out the DualU stream if you guys can.
If you want to see how Nidalee's played at a professional level, don't get many opportunities to see that one, Raz. So
that's true.
Haro delivering home for all the fans.
You didn't see that cue.
Tian's in a little bit of trouble. Oh, good dodge out on the Tangle Barbs, though. He should be fine. Beautiful Arctic Assault as well. Spear from Nidalee, not going to find him. But Tien, ooh, nice. He's got the fancy feet today. Might they be able to go back for the re-engage on the Holder? It looks like Tien's looking for it. He's got the flash available still. Holder flashes away himself. The flash follow up with the Arctic Assault. Holder incredibly low. GimGoon should be able to pick it up. Tien gets the first blood.
Close.
But now it's Haro versus Tien and GimGoon. They have the stuns. They had the distance. Haro, can he get over the wall? The flash still available for GimGoon. He's going to jump over the wall with the E. Doesn't get the stun, but now he's stuck on the wrong side of the wall without a flash. And this is very likely going to be GimGoon going down for the 1-for-2 trade.
Well, that hurts. Didn't expect HuaTian to be making the rotation there, and he did. Did so well in his lane match. Doinb had to base. HuaTian found that time to be able to rotate topside and be able to get the kills. Good job from him.
HuaTian just going to save this fight here, but let's check out what we missed in the bot lane, Raz.
All right, of course we missed something. Let's take a look. That's a lot of damage on Huanggai. Yeah, there's no way you're be coming out of that one clean. Oh, I love that. That is... We call that the Dyer's Fall, usually, of course, in the top lane, because he was able to consistently make that flash over the wall, because it is just so thick. And if you're able to do that, congrats to you. LWX was able to make that flash, gets the kill. Of course, it's a trade, but, I mean, he's flexing. And he has the kill. He has the kill over, too. So, remember, that was one guy being able to get the kill back. So that's an AD carry getting the kill gold over ZWuji that, got the assist goal.
Yep, didn't even lose the CS lead for it, and we'll pick up the pickaxe first. So we may be seeing the Manimune pick up there for LWX, which would mean a little bit of a slower scaling for him.
No.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he's surrounded.
Oh, no. He's going to find the Q. Oh, my God. A beautiful use by HuaTian there. He might find his way out. Good pull in from GimGoon. But Tien just gave HuaTian the way out and may have given over his top laner's life. It looks like the regen from GimGoon will be enough to keep him alive.
That's actually crazy. I would love to see that again. That was the one replay I would love to check out. Being able to find himself over the wall. So great from HuaTian, because that looked like a Mission Impossible situation.
Absolutely beautiful there. Tien going to be hitting himself on the back of the head for that one a little bit, but that's okay. Holder rotating back up towards the top lane after that mid lane fight. And GimGoon is struggling in this top lane matchup. He's down 23 CS at just the 6-minute mark.
Yep. I mean, he's one of the worst matchups out there. And I think Holder's actually been playing out the wave really well. Just trying to harass as a priority, as you would expect. Even getting up the double Doran's ring, too, so he has a primary focus on the early landing phase. And also, just as another point on top of that, Haro has been splitting up the map as a focus as well, and always been trying to challenge Tain if he's on the top side of the map. So there's no way for Tain to be able to help support the top side in any venture. It did cost in Holder's death, remember, really early on when that turned into a 2v2. But that was one error and a great strategy from Haro and Holder.
Given that that's the case right now, do we need to see Tain just go for the hard camp down into the bottom lane and try and get LWX massively ahead to make up for the deficit for GimGoon?
If it's possible, right? It just really does mean you have to look back at your options, because there's options mid lane too. Even though he's getting shoved in, he's at even CS. So Doinb has done a great job to be able to keep himself relevant, and he has a great point of engage. Level 6 too, so he has his ultimate primed. So if I'm ZWuji, I go mid first.
Okay, he may be looking for it now. He knows that his red buff is no longer there. Going to be rotating up towards potentially the other side of the map. But more importantly, we know where the other jungler is, and Haro is here in the bottom lane looking for a gank.
All right, but he's still there to allow them to get shoved. And an invade on blue. Let's see if that's going to be the goal here. Huanggai is leading alongside him.
Ping's going down into the mid lane as well. Haro's just going to look to be rotating up there. It looks like they might be prioritizing a gank over the blue invade here.
Yeah, I may not have the timer. That's always my concern. It seems like they just expect ZWuji to already be on top. And then you can see Nautilus playing the River Warden, not letting anyone nearby.
Tain able to secure that one with the smite. Now Rogue Warriors, their invade's going to be cut short.
They also were probably a little concerned about the mid lane shove and literally wanted to be there just so HuaTian was available for the push into the jungle. A little bit too much setup. Could have just won it.
Now Moby Boots have been picked up there for GimGoon, so he has the opportunity to start roaming very soon if he's ever able to get out from under tower. But that seems to be the problem right now. He doesn't have the option to push before roaming.
Yeah, that's always the big concern. I'm interested in how Haro is going to be able to play this one out. Like, knowing that he could be able to impact mid lane, look for a shove, go for a top side. What are we looking at? Is it the skin discussion that they're talking about? I feel like I'm missing out on some joke.
It sort of feels like we're doing live archaeology. It's like, I know this is used for something.
Now remember,
just not sure what.
Yeah, we're not the ones that control the observers like you see on the main broadcasts of LCS and LEC. Chinese commentators have their discussion, and we have to see what they're talking about.
It's a fun reverse causality thing, you know? It's like, let's take our best guess. Try and ask them afterwards.
Maybe trying to make a clear love joke because it's not even close.
Blue buff going to be secured there by Haro. He's going to take that one for himself.
But get a great top side focus, even bringing Crisp in along. If they can get a gank on top of HuaTian and get the kill here, then it upsets a lot of the plans of Haro on the top side of the map. Here we go, another gank.
Oh, here comes the gank. It's going to miss the Glacial Prison. HuaTian tries to go for the save onto Tain once again, but this time there's too much damage to follow up.
There you go. Second time they make the play, and they're able to get the kill on HuaTian easily. Take a look at his flash timer. He was probably 20 to 30 seconds off before he was able to have that available. Great timing from FPX to get the kill, go towards Dragon, and upset what could have been a great play from Rogue Warriors on the top side of the map. They could have used HuaTian to go up top side and get a dive on towards GimGoon.
He said Rogue Warriors will have to take the consolation prize of the Rift Herald while FPX pick up the Ocean Drake. And Raz, we do have confirmation of what the Chinese casters were talking about.
Give it to me.
ZWuji is so big that it's impossible to see the blue buff.
Ah, that's true.
Because the mount's too fat.
Too fat. We were talking about the fat butt before.
That's right.
Now we're making jokes about how large it really is. I'm cool with that.
So large it's imbalanced, in fact.
Yeah.
But now Haro will secure the Rift Herald solo. And that means a lot of trouble here potentially coming out for FPX. They're already behind in gold. If they lose the tempo and the objectives, starts to look a little dicey for them. was that Tain but spot that gank. I don't think they would have finished it anyways, though. Looked like HuaTian was already backing off before he was spotted.
I think we're smart plays across from both teams around mid lane. They recognize that mid lane is a primary focus to be able to make their strategy go through. Like if Aurelia is able to have a decent shot in lane against the Jace, then she is certainly going to the bottom side of the map. You're already seeing a good invade from Chris to be able to get down some vision. Now, that's going to be something I'm afraid of. If Rogue Warriors cannot handle that, then bottom side, Huanggai and ZWuji are going to have a bad time. And that's the expectation here, but remember, Rift Herald was the play here from Rogue Warriors.
Has still yet to be dropped. There's 2 minutes before turret plating falls off, so you will still have the opportunity to make gold with it. Looks like enough people are rotating from Rogue Warriors towards the mid lane that that is a likely option. Instead, Tain not quite going to land the CC onto him, so he's going to make it out, but Rogue Warriors steal away the red buff instead. GimGoon trying to get the pull over the wall, not going to be able to find it.
What I would like to see happen, and it's likely going to be the case, yeah, already looking towards it, I would personally put the Rift Herald top side. Not anymore that you can just take away the turret, but my whole point was I would want as much gold being put on the holder as possible. Already has the GLP there for himself, so I want the Ghosties to be another one. So we can have a great comp where you're rolling around with holder to get picks in the mid lane or bottom side of the map. It's not going to be the call. In fact, they're just trading side. Wait, really? We just lost HP on the Rift Herald for about like 2 HP on the tower. I'm cool with that.
Worth. It's not worth. Don't listen to me.
FPX can actually be in position to defend this play. Not like they're going to hold it up, but I don't like it. 14 minutes is like 14 minutes is when you don't have to be concerned about the turret platings, right? So you're not even at that stage. That was the most useless Rift Herald I've seen in a long time. This split was literally the most useless thing. You could have thrown it mid lane. It would have helped out HuaTian as well. But instead, they threw it up top side when it was already down for an inner tower that was well defended. All right.
Finally, GimGoon has access to farm off that too. Once it gets towards his tower, I mean, it's hard to pressure him without massive amounts of vision. So now GimGoon might be able to recover. He's got the Tiamat too.
Just remember, if they threw it mid, that GimGoon was tied top lane. The same was there for LWX. That would have been a one-man advantage in the mid lane for Rogue Warriors to push that out so they actually got some turret plating. They didn't need to take the tower. They could have just took the turret plating and put the gold onto HuaTian.
Instead, now we're going to see new lane assignments coming out as Doinb rotates down towards the bottom side of the map. Looks like it's going to be the 1-3-1 for the time being, with GimGoon in the top, Doinb in the bottom, and everyone else just hanging out around mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, Rogue Warriors are going to be on the map a little earlier. So Skullcrab should be theirs. They have bot lane shove being start out too. So they're in a good spot to contest for an Ocean Dragon that's going to be coming up.
FPX do end up getting the better end of the turret plating as well, 960 compared to 800. A lot of that 800 did go over to ZWuji. About 2 of the platings, I believe.
You can already see it just off the gold. Thank the Lord we have that in present to us. 200 of the gold was there for ZWuji correctly. So it's nice. It's a nice boost to have for yourself. He's already moving towards his Infinity Edge, but looks like we're already setting up for a play. I want to talk about this item a little bit more because we saw that off of OMG, actually. It was Crystal who had himself the Essence Reaver Infinity Edge on the Xayah. Xayah can make that happen for herself. Seems like we're already going to be seeing the turret being just outright picked up. Wow, okay.
Yep, that's a bit of a chunk going on to LWX there, so he's not going to be able to contest that one.
I like it just because it allows more damage on the Feather Dancer, her ultimate, her E as well. Just makes it so you can even work a little bit more with your lethal tempo, so you still have the attack speed in that area. So I like it. I'm a big fan of it. Glad that we get to see that kind of build more on just on Sivir. So it's a good call out on ZWuji.
Now, looking at the rest of the map, Doinb has established himself quite the lead now. He's got the 30 CS up, and GimGoon once again has done very admirably on the weak side. He's picked up about only a 20 CS deficit, which, while not great considering the matchup he was in, considering the keystone
he's happy. Yeah, he's glad about that. So ecstatic. They get to go into this composition now with Kai'Sa starting to pick up her core items, Irelia, who was able to get out of lane, as you have mentioned. Like, this is a great team fight comp versus a very squishy composition that we've mentioned what you need to do to take down the top lane. Wasn't able to get accomplished. Oh, here we go. Wow.
Yeah, Holder really can't contest the damage from that one, and Doinb going to be able to pick up that tower on the top side of the map as well, so he's going to be sitting on quite a bit of gold. Should be able to pick up the Trinity Force very soon, but looks like he's going to continue the split push while GimGoon's going to continue in the mid lane, or bottom lane rather. LWX left all by his lonesome mid.
Take a look at this. I mean, FPX have their side lanes just down packed. GimGoon holding the bottom lane turret well enough, and Irelia able to push out the top side very easily. We're getting to a point where Doinb able to get super close to his Trinity Force. Already has the Sheen and Phage built out there, so item break points are getting there for FPX. But if you look towards the Rogue Warriors, they're pretty confident all game long to be able to pick fights around Nico. The fact that it hasn't happened yet's been surprising.
Haven't quite found the opportunity, I suppose. FPX has been seeding some of the objectives and just letting Rogue Warriors take them. Does prevent the fights, but you do give up a lot, including this second red buff stolen away this game.
Yeah, we've just been taking red buffs away from Sedge. Sedge is not even contesting him anymore. Like, oh, I'm cool with that. I have my strong side.
The Muramana completed just yet, but has the Ginsus available plus the Mana Moon.
Take a look at how deep they are controlling this bot side, though. Like, sure, you're right. You got the Mana Moon. They're going to be stacking it up, being confident around LWX at this point, just full. Mountain Dragon there, already with the Ocean. I'm pretty happy with FPX's current station, their current positioning, even though Rogue Warriors has a very slight gold lead. And they've been consistently aggressive around Haro. For me, it just hasn't been a net positive for the team.
Once again, working. It feels like a little bit like last game where working around Haro just didn't kind of work out for the game. He wasn't quite able to get Holder ahead enough early enough. But this game, at the very least, 1-0-1 sitting there on that Nidalee. So he still has influence. He's still been taking the objectives away. But FPX seem to be happy with what they've been seeding.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's the great arms race. Like, Infinity Edge and Essence Reaver has already been picked up by ZWuji, and he's already moving towards his attack speed item now. So at this stage, ZWuji wants to fight. The lethality's already been there for HuaTian, so he's been looking for it. Speaking of looking for fights, GimGoon really is just trying to get these trades out.
Great W timing, though, from Holder, preventing the hook coming in from GimGoon, so he's not able to get his full combo off. Otherwise, I'm fairly certain that would have been a very dead Chameleon.
I don't think so. I mean, the flash is still there. So, like, all of that in motion with the amount of slows that Nico does have right now, I think she's in a good spot. She does still end up, like, in that hypothetical situation. You lose flash. The next fight that we've been kind of talking about, envisioning, is much harder for Holder, because Nico really relies on it to be able to get it working for herself. So here we go.
HuaTian pushing into the bottom lane now. GimGoon going to take quite a bit of poke from the Jace, but he's able to heal most of it back up thanks to his gray health.
You ain't going to have great health, HuaTian. You got to watch out for those tower shots. Yeah, well, here we go.
Here comes GimGoon. He's looking for it. Has the flash available, but he's not going to commit just that much to this engage. So Chris just trying to clear out the vision.
I hope HuaTian can be able to just heal right back up, and he does. Found himself a nice plant in the river, just because the focus is now going to be on the dragon that is up and available in about 10 seconds. So all of that time I've been talking about FPX having deep enough vision to have focus and, you know, a plate just to work around hasn't been the case. The lane assignments that Rogue Warriors have had here has been really effective for them. You know, HuaTian being able to be on the bot side of the map and pinning down GimGoon has worked out wonderfully, but they're moving to get mid lane focus. I don't think that's a good call here.
A lot of positioning around these wards. They want to clear it out, having the information advantage there for FPX, but Tain really the only one here still contesting with GimGoon. Rogue Warriors just want to push down the mid lane, force them to dedicate themselves to taking that down, defending the tower rather than the dragon.
Look at it really on the mini-map. She's in position for a possible flank if the dragon is to be started. She has the Trinity Force too, so she is ready to dive in the back line, but she's just waiting for the time to strike.
There's no ward on her as well. Doinb now going to walk up. No longer able to flank, but will at least be able to find the straight-on fight. Look at all the wards that have been placed down towards this Dragon Pit at the side of mid lane. Both teams contesting so heavily over this Mountain Drake.
Rogue Warriors got that mid lane shove. They used a lot, actually. Both GLP and Ghosties on Holder. So I'm in a position where I'm not even confident in my pick opportunity. A good dodge out by Haro.
A lot of poke comes in from HuaTian, so if this fight goes long enough, he and Haro should be able to stop FPX from getting a whole lot done here.
We're in a position where nobody cares about sidelines. Like,
okay! Oh, flash engage comes in, looking for Huanggai, who will be able to find the taunt. Goes golden, depth charge not going to get the reset. It will get the reset from the cooldown. Now Huanggai's down. They have the depth charge available. It's going to go onto HuaTian. There he goes again. LWX picks up that kill, and now FPX have a two-man advantage. Are they going to transition it into Dragon? Looks like they will.
But Chris went wild in that fight. Two crucial picks, 2 kills on both Huanggai and HuaTian. They should be able to get a free Mountain Dragon now.
Looks like they will be able to pick that one up. Great play coming in there from FPX. They pull the trigger at just the right time. They keep their gold lead. They keep their dragon in their own pocket. And now, when the Baron comes onto the field, this fight is going to be fresh in Rogue Warriors' minds.
I was so busy talking about putting yourself on sideline that Chris was like, I'm putting myself in position for this fight. Like, flashes right forward, gets the pick. I was thinking Huanggai could maybe get himself out with the ultimate, but he didn't want to expend it. In fact, realized that he would have been stunned out of it. So see the next pick too. This here was inexcusable. I can understand getting hit by the flash Q from Chris, but this one, HuaTian was kind of just trying to see if he could find himself in the fight. Wasn't going to be the case.
Didn't even get to use his own flash to get out of that one. Perfect CC chaining in from Crisp, and now FPX looking so strong. Not quite the Sterix gauge completed from Doinb, but they've got the Warmogs on Tain as well, which will let him stay on the map a whole lot longer. 3 items for LWX, and ZWuji does not have his Zeal item completed yet.
And now, that's how hard it is now for HuaTian to be able to be relevant in this point of the game. Like, the Shock Blast that we've been seeing is now going to be eaten by Tain. Easily able to heal that up with Warmogs. So it's going to be hard for him to find an angle in these fights, see if he can get something done.
Rogue Warriors looking for the pick into the mid lane onto Chris, but he's playing carefully. Shouldn't be picked off here. They will find the Q. Holder has the slow.
Slowing him down.
Landed onto Chris. Good time to go golden. He's going to be safe for the time being. Huanggai goes in for the taunt. Tain is here on the side, but that is so many people. But GimGoon's on the flank as well. Can they find a kill? LWX picks up one onto Huanggai, and it looks like FPX are running away with the fight so far. Tain getting chased down. Flashes away from ZWuji, who won't be able to find the kill. LWX has used the killer instinct, but they're chasing in. Vanguard's edge. Doinb does it, and he's looking for ZWuji. The lethal tempo's there. No root's going to land, though. And FPX, they're still going. They find one more. ZWuji, the last one surviving from Rogue Warriors. A beautiful fight from FPX.
That was just sick to watch. And the engage that we saw there from Doinb even better.
Just absolutely disgusting. And now they get to rotate this into the Baron. They have the Mountain Drake, but at this point, they don't even need it. There's no one here to contest. Double control ward, who cares? You've got a 24-minute Baron. LWX looking for the pick onto ZWuji. GimGoon's here as well, looking for the hook. Not going to be able to find it, just short on range.
And the 2 people you're seeing right now, 2 MVPs in that fight. Both GimGoon and LWX styled in that one. Take a look at this one. Now, it makes sense. Chris is going to get slowed down, buys himself some time. The call is to continue to fight. Tain finds himself just spewing over the wall, seeing if he can be that primary front line. GimGoon holds himself firm and is able to heal up just a little bit more, and that's great. Take a look at Doinb coming into the flank, though. So now it's hard for Holder to be in this fight. LWX, too, just put down so much damage on towards HuaTian. So take a look. Double kill goes on towards the top lane, GimGoon. They're able to get this last assassination by LWX.
Now the Baron buff still on for 2 minutes and 35 seconds. What are FPX going to be able to do with it so far? They're going for a 4-1 split push in the mid and bottom lane, sending Doinb there to 1v1 to his heart's content. He's got the Sterix gauge, he's got the Trinity Force, so he's got all the damage. and the Colonel feels pretty confident about it too.
Got Cannon Minion there too to start picking up in this tower. If they're not confident being in range to auto it, then they don't have to be. Take a look at Aurelia too, just being able to nail this one down.
Just drawing the focus away from Rogue Warriors. They're going to have to give up one of these lanes. I don't think they have the strength to fight. They're down 6k gold at this point.
Take a look at the ultimates too. Doinb's in a great position to flank through mid, use his ult, get into the back line. I'm concerned if I'm ZWuji. He may have his flash, no heal there though, so that's my concern. He can get bursted.
He has his 3 items, however, so he will be able to attack from range a little bit with the rapid fire cannon, but it may be too little too late at this point. GimGoon going to be able to make it out. A little bit of poke comes in from HuaTian, but if you look at the bottom lane, Doinb just relentlessly pushing down there, been able to take the tower down to half all by his lonesome. He's just waiting.
Using ZWuji to be the sole wave clear on the bottom side of the map. It's a good way to go about it, but remember, mid lane is now the new focus by FPX.
They don't have much range there to work with on this top side towards the mid lane because LWX very short range AD carry, so they had to protect him very carefully. ZWuji coming in, trying to get for the 1v1 onto Doinb. Vanguard's edge comes in, marks him.
No.
Hero's entrance comes in from Huanggai, and now Doinb gets shut down, and so does the push of FunPlus Phoenix. They're going to have to rotate out to the Infernal.
What a ballsy play though. ZWuji says, I need to break up this play now. He knows he has the damage, but of course, he needs more time. Aurelia is going to jump on him. So Galio ultimate needed to come through another fight.
FPX, they're taking the fight 4 versus 5. They think they can take it. Huanggai solo, Pop Blossom comes in. He's going to land on the LWX, but the assassination from GimGoon. Tain still here frontlining like his life depends on it. And they will be able to trade 1-for-1 for the time being. Killer Instinct comes in from LWX. GimGoon as well. Haro has to go gold, and that should be the kill onto at least one of them. GimGoon has to flash out, but LWX, so much damage! The quadra kill, and LWX is going to be so happy with that one. The ace comes down, and FPX may have found their 2-0.
The killer instinct, man. The focus to find himself in a flank, and even better, to keep them interested, GimGoon was able to hook them right back in, so they're committing to the fight. Well done from FPX, and you can see that championship mentality there for them.
We're looking at these 2 men on the map, and we were saying it earlier on in the game. These could be our MVPs, and they just showed it in that team fight there. Look at LWX 8-1-4, GimGoon 3-1-3. They made that team fight what it was.
It's fun to see. It's great to see it happen. Honestly, when you see compositions like these, you just need to be able to live in the moment. And the moment was coming in quick. GimGoon keeping him interested. It started as a play that was only for a pick, ended in a play in which it was like you can get the full dish.
They were able to find that one. FPX off the back of that will also be able to find the Infernal Dragon. The game's heating up, whereas it's 29 minutes in. They were able to take down the inhibitor, but LWX may be too big to stop. He's got the Rabadon's Death Cap on the back of this, plus the Oblivion Orb.
He's huge. There's absolutely nothing else I can say about it. If you're trying to fight him face to face, passive auto attack when he's able to proc it through is just going to rip the front line, if it even exists, to shreds.
It really doesn't at this point. Huanggai's the only one with any sort of tanky stats whatsoever, and we've seen him get blown up time after time. It's only going to get worse now that the death cap is completed.
And like, just follow the poke damage from W at this point. Like, I remember the last time we saw AP Kai'Sa, the amount of damage he was able to apply, that had to get nerfed. But at this point, boom, right on top of HuaTian's face. Yeah, see what they had.
They're just going to push this one in. He's going in. Oh my god, that's so aggressive. He almost got the kill too. That's the worst bit. If he'd gotten one more auto, that would have been a very dead HuaTian.
I was even following the W there. The observer had to go back because he sent another one too.
Not going to be able to find that one just yet. We see the kill pressure coming in from LWX. You look at the cooldown on the ultimate too, already halfway back.
It's just such a joke at this point because FPX had such a large lead. Drafting into this game, Rogue Warriors came in thinking they had a poke composition. Now they're getting demolished by poke simply because of LWX and how large he is at this stage. So we're at a point. LWX might come in with double MVPs.
Baron going to be on the field in just a few seconds as well. So FPX can rotate down to that. No item completion coming out from LWX, just sitting on the Oblivion Orb, but that's okay. He's got everyone around him. And take a look at what ZWuji has picked up. It's the Shurelius.
Yep. Let's run at them, boys. Let's get in there.
The classic run at them comment. You don't have a Sivir, no problem. You have a Sejuani with money burning a hole in his pocket.
He is absolutely not concerned with resistances here. That's what happens when you have a lead. You can start thinking more about the utility involved, and he has it for himself. Easy pickup on Baron, unless if Haro gets cute. Not even close. Don't even try.
Doinb trying to zone as best as he can off the Baron. That's going to be the Baron picked up by FPX.
Now what?
Haro, what you doing?
Nah, I mean, at this point, you take Krugs and you go back. All right, you just go back. That's smarter, but always the sad Krugs take. Krugs, at this point of the game, are like that bucket of ice cream. You know what's going to happen. At least have more experience at the end of the game.
You know you're going to regret it, but FPX pick up the second inhibitor now, rotating out of the base, potentially towards the top lane.
Yeah, playing this one safe. Going up towards the next inhibitor possibility. Yeah, try and poke me. What are you trying to do?
He's got Warmucks. There's nothing to worry about here if you're Tain. GimGoon zoning off with just the threat of a hook from him. Now the third inhibitor of the game. FPX are looking to close here. They've got the Baron buff. They've got all three waves pushing with the inhibitor down in all of them. This is Rogue Warriors' last stand if they want to make a chance.
They're not synced though, and I think that's a big benefit to Rogue Warriors. They can clear up the top lane wave and try and... Oh no, they haven't cleared it up quickly enough though.
No wave clear there. Haro's so incredibly low. He's going to have to get out of there. The attempt comes in, but the Vanguard's edge from Doinb just too good for the team fight. LWX dives in. He gets 2. He gets 3. The triple kill from LWX to end the game. And FPX run it through with a 2-0 and stay undefeated.
What a sensational performance from LWX at the end. That's just sick to watch. Even better yet, I know I've been talking about GimGoon in Game 1. GimGoon in Game 2 is just as good. Be able to hold all that pressure, always find himself on the back foot, that's just fine. Team fight effectiveness off the charts. So FPX came in on a strong note. Really well done for them. Already coming into the split, 3-0.
Let's talk a little bit about Rogue Warriors, though, because I will sing the praises of FPX all the way today till Sunday. Oh, today. It's Tuesday. I can say today till Sunday. But I think Rogue Warriors showed us really strong performance. Even in that second game when they ended up falling behind, they showed a lot of promise here. And I think that is a lot of growth to come in a very short time from them.
Yeah, and I just want them to keep their heads on their shoulders straight, right? I don't want them to get too tilted. That's always the concern, is that you have a few bad series. You come out, you feel like you're worse than you really are, and you let that environment start to really precipitate, really nail you down, to gnaw at you. And I think that, like, they just had both RNG and FPX in the first 2 series, and I think that's unfortunate. Even worse, they're going up against top esports in the next series. So they had a really tough schedule to begin with. But after that point, they have OMG immediately afterwards, and I think these are the series you'll have to start focusing on to see engage their strength. Are they an Avicii Gaming, a team that can push you towards 3 games but can never get it done? I don't think that's the case for Rogue Warriors.
They've shown a lot of promise, but FunPlus Phoenix, that's the real star of this one, because this is something we thought about last split a little bit. Can they keep it going? Can they keep the undefeated streak going? And FPX just looks so unbelievably strong, even coming after the split. I mean, you take the obvious comparison to IG, right? Because they came through, they won the finals. They're not doing too hot in the second split here. Neither is JDG, but FPX, they've kept their cool.
Yeah, and if you just take a look at this is the second game in a row where the AD carry damage is just right off the charts. It's like, essentially are just beams just trying to get at each other, right? Like some random ending of a series plot in Dragon Ball Z. Like, that's the only way they can end a series, by the way. But anyways, it's fun to watch, like, a series, a game where both AD carries are really hyped up and given the resources. ZWuji and LWX had a hell of a battle this time around. But at the end of the day, to your point, I feel like FPX just has such a complete package. And on top of that, so much more controlled, calm-headed. 2018 was a year where FPX had great talent but could never really get much of an opportunity off of it. Like, they were too hot-headed, looked for every skirmish available rather than picking their fights. And I felt like we were already seeing that in last split. It's even getting better now.
And I think if you look at FPX's history, you know, you still have 3 people on the roster come in. GimGoon, LWX, Crisp. Having the mid-jungle duo that we talked about so much last split, Tain and Doinb joining the team, really seems to have turned them around, especially with the addition of Coach Warhorse.
Yep,
Can't forget him as well. Because the three of them, their influence on this team has been absolutely massive, and they are performing out of their minds for these past 2 splits.
Yes. Structure at the end of the day is what a team requires. If you have the talent, if you have the tools, you just need the structures so they can work. And I feel like that's what was applied here. And they also it kind of worked with their style. Like, Doinb was already a player that was pretty hectic and wanted to pick up these fights, so he joined an environment that was already giving him that. So I was like, oh, great. We don't have to make any changes here. So that's fantastic to begin with. These are all the same story notes that we've had from, like, last split. The only adaptation is more so like they just need to keep it clean and continue forward. They had 3 great series now. Their next few teams are Team W and LGD. These should be another clean sweep. It's kind of crazy that we're beginning the split with potentially 5 series from FPX where they come in and just essentially lay it down. So I'm excited to see what happens going forward for the team.
Because it's a lot of promise coming into the LPL that I think they can actually deliver on. Because we have a lot of undefeated teams right now. It is only week 3, to be fair. So we can't hype them up too much. But at the same time, these are things, that's something I know I was thinking last split, and they seem to have been delivering so far. Whereas teams like RNG, I'm not sure how far they can take it comparatively. And I want to see those matchups, the top of the top that we have so far in the LPL. I want to see them going head-to-head.
And remember, here's the thing that I want to put there for everybody else out there to recognize is that in the LPL, there are 16 teams, and you only face each other once. You only have that series, that best of, one time. And so when you look at teams that, like for instance, let's say LNG. LNG has faced Invictus Gaming. They got a 2-0 on Invictus Gaming. Do we expect them to be a better team than Invictus Gaming by the end of the split? Hell no. That's not the expectation at all for your world champions and MSI representatives. Like, that would be a huge story. I'm going to be open-minded, But I'm just saying at the end of the split, you expect IG to get it together. But you can only really get a gauge on that power level in playoff time when they potentially face off. So I would like, to your point about it's only week 3, temper expectations and get what you can, not from results, but what happens within the game. And so what I'm seeing right now is Rogue Warriors looking great. FPX looking stellar. LNG looking like really good. And I would say that they are certainly fighting to be a playoff team. Consistency is important because remember, 2018 spring is when they went hard in Chongqing. They were doing really well, and then it fell flat in the last 4 weeks. So you need to be able to track that. But this time around, remember, they have Plex and everything. So their mid lane's looking great. Dominus.
I just don't know, man. I have so many hopes for this team, especially coming in with their miraculous run into playoffs. They take down EDG. We're like, oh my God, Dominus are amazing. They're going to go so far. But now coming into this split, they look not as strong.
This is when I can take a step back and give the whole crowd the I told you so. Because when the whole preseason expectations came out, I made the call that Dominus do not look like a playoff team. While they had won NEST, went deep into the playoffs, and I made that call simply because, coming into the split for a spring split, I said that, hey, they had pre-existing synergies. That's something they already had rolling versus a lot of teams that are just coming together. So they already had that working. They were a great team fighting team. That's fair. That's fine. They had great talent in Xiaopeng, in Mark. But I have to question talent like Twyla, Chang Hong in individual matchups. When we talk about our top 8 teams, teams that I've ranked above them, and the solo lane matchups, I always have them, relatively speaking, a little bit better in the lane and in team fights. And a lot of those teams got better in terms of just being able to formulate structure. Synergies starting in spring got a lot better in summer. So I need to see something special from Dominus. And while it looks like from the outside looking in that they got worse in team fights and they're trying to experiment in 1-3-1s, a lot of the problems still exist that Chang Hong versus the best or the top 8 of top laners, he's still falling through. And I'm still making the case for Twyla, but I think we still see great moments from Twyla, and we still need to see better individual talent coming in from this team.
All right, well, let's rotate back a little bit
go back
to our most recent series. We have the FPX MVP coming up for game number 2.
Yeah.
It's going to be LWX, queued at 47%.
Getting better and better. LWX is mad. 11 kills, 1 death, 5 assists. He went crazy this series, and I love to see it happen.
His play was almost as bold as his eyebrows, and both of them are just so magnificent.
Come on, man. No one needs to point that out.
I said magnificent.
Yeah, you did.
They
at
are
the end.
magnificent.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll take you then. He was crazy. He was great. And once again, The strength of LWX also showcases the strength of Crisp. I think Crisp had a great game. His Nautilus was exceptional and found themselves multiple kills in the midpoint of the game. So you get a thumbs up from me. It may not be an MVP, it may not be put on the record books, but it's great from me.
Well, and it feels like for that series, I think the silent MVP number 2 was kind of GimGoon. Because in game number 1, he came in, had that beautiful engage to end the last team fight, just sort of set up the team for success. And in the second game, he was doing much of the same thing. He was playing those team fights absolutely beautifully. He played the weak side very well, only ended up down 20 in CS. And then when it came to team fights, he was just doing exactly what he needed to do.
And that says a lot for the people out there when your star player is not the one shining bright on the day. He's not the one that, and he didn't do anything bad, by the way. I'm like, when Doinb came in, he just actually did his job, right? But it's GimGoon we're talking about. LWX we're talking about. Crisp and Tain to a certain extent that are just flying high. And while they're going up against Rogue Warriors, you can say that, you know, in the standings and the record books, they look considerably better. Like, they're having great times versus great teams. They're going to be doing well for a long time.
And we hope we can get to see that going forward. But let's take a look now. The results of today. Let's see the standings. And FPX standing happy at the top, tied with RNG and now LNG with a 3-series victory streak.
You didn't expect to see that one happening. You didn't expect to see LNG alongside Suning. Now, Suning only has 2 series out there. So we'll have to see how they go continuing on. And Top Esports only has 1 series in the record books. So anything can happen, and it will happen. It will happen. You will feel sad about that if you're a fan of Suning or Top Esports or OMG even. Because a lot of those times, you're starting to wait for the sleeping giants like Invictus Gaming to come right back.
Now let's take a look at what we might get to see tomorrow with the matches. These, of course, are going to be on both Huya and Doyu, but not here on the English stream. First up, we have Suning versus WE, followed up by BLG versus EDG.
This is going to be fun. BLG versus EDG is a very good matchup that people should watch and will watch. It's that big brother, little brother deal. So, going to have to see it. It's Scout versus Kuro in the mid lane. It's a great matchup.
I want to see another 5-man Pop Blossom, but we might not get to see that during that match. But we also have Saturday's matches, which is Vici versus RNG. RNG, of course, still undefeated. And IG versus EDG.
That's going to be our match of the week, by the way. Immediately. Invictus Gaming versus EDG is our match of the week. Tune in for it. Stay tuned. That's going to be a hell of a one to watch.
And I'm really excited for that one because IG, granted, have not looked super strong, but I think they have the capacity to come back from where they are. And EDG are looking so much stronger than they were last split.
I didn't expect that, by the way. For everybody that's like, we're talking about EDG versus BLG, now EDG versus IG. Those 2 matchups, please watch them. The fact that Junu has came out and just been such a strong force for the team, and even more importantly, Jeje. Jeje is insane, man. It's like essentially they just cloned MLXG, throw him into the EDG roster, and on top of that, he's just been a super active force that's been able to consistently net them advantages, and his synergy alongside Jinu is actually far more advanced than I would have expected, so EDG looking great.
And that's one of my favorite things to see is when you have a rookie come into a team and not only do they look promising, but they look fantastic.
Yeah.
Because there's a very strong difference between the two. You have untapped talent that has a lot of potential versus you have a talent who comes in, they're just like, I'm here in the LPL and I'm ready to beat everyone.
Well, I mean, to go even further with that one, that they work in the system, right? A lot of the problems with bringing in a rookie is that you question whether they work in the system on your team. Can they work well to make those calls and expectations? Can they keep the lanes up? Can they defend 5 lanes, the 3 lanes at once? Those are kind of questions that you ask your jungler. And at this time, Jeje's done that and then some. So great, great vibes from him. He's also going up against Meteor, 2 rookie junglers right now. So that's going to be a fun one to watch. That's not going to be on our English broadcast day, but Ning versus Jeje will be.
I mean, these next 2 matches are proving grounds for EDG because we've seen them in 2 matches so far, and we've seen Dominus's performance since, and I don't think it was anywhere near outside of expectations to see EDG take that one down.
Yep.
However, we go into these 2 matches. It's the former world champions, our MSI representatives. That's going to be Saturday's matches. And BLG, who were a playoffs team very nearly missing out to Sino Dragons, but they looked incredibly strong as well. So this is seeing EDG have their mettle tested.
And these are the matches that matter. These are the matches that you will look back on week 8, week 9 of matches we should have won, right? if we're talking about like head-to-heads and all of that, the series points that we were really focused on that really made the difference of getting into 8th place or not, if you don't hit these matches, Suning versus WE is another one that you need to be able to hit if you're looking down the the barrel of the gun later on. So important matches coming up forward, and also just great, just good fun. That's what I care about.
That's what we're all about, Raz. Great fun, and we've had some great fun tonight. Of course, remember to catch the English stream next time on Saturday with our match of the week. From us, thank you so much. We'll see you again on Saturday.
our castle walls. Fast forward to the siren in the distance.